Hello, hello. Kara's here. DeeDee's here. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hello, Susan. Hey, nurse.
Hi.
Hi.
How are y'all?
How is everything? Good.
Great.
Excellent.
I'm doing good.
So, what are we thinking of the episode that just aired? It just went off. I know you guys watched it early. I didn't watch it early, so I watched it as it aired. So, what stood out? What was crazy? Because we met Misha and Nicola, which it was a lot for me, right? Was it a lot for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm still getting over the fact that he's a 46-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying he's lying. I'm just saying that it's I just
Hey,
don't believe it.
Stephanie. Well, when I was listening to him talk and about his religion, I was like, this guy has like absolutely no personality outside of like his religion. I don't think he's lying. I don't think that he's not a virgin, right? Like, I feel like he's definitely a virgin because he's let his religion kind of take over and overcome his life. Because did you hear about
Yeah,
the
exactly.
annulment? The annulment
Yeah.
situation where he's like, if you can't get this annulment, even though it's over a decade ago. I thought, first of all, I thought there was a statute of limitations on annulments. You can't go back so many years. This is like a decade. So I don't know the process of that.
She said it was a church annulment. She's legally divorced.
Yes.
So,
I gotta look that up in the Bible because I've never heard of that.
yeah. But also, one thing he said was, he said it's been 16 years since he touched a woman or kissed a woman.
Yes.
But then he also doubled back and said that once you're into this religion, you can be born again virgin.
Yes.
So
that's kind of what he was saying about Misha, because she's married and has 2 daughters, so she's clearly done more. And for some reason in the Catholic religion, divorce doesn't exist. And if you do get a divorce, you're not allowed to get married unless it's annulled, which I think is kind of insane, because what if you were married to the wrong person, right? Like, why do they hold that against you? You can easily be married to the wrong person. People show their true colors. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, years, decades. They turn into different people. Why should you be disbarred from finding love after you find out the person that you married isn't who you thought they were? I don't see. I was raised in a religious cult, so I was watching this and it was bringing back like horrible memories of like how I was raised, of how you aren't allowed to do certain things. Like, religion always to me was like a limitation. Like, whatever that I wanted to do, it dictated to me what my limitation was. And I was just watching this go back and I was like, see, they're limiting themselves on happiness because it doesn't fit into their religion. And I feel like religion is very important. I think it's good to have a spiritual side, okay? Yeah. But like, if it's stopping you from finding love and being happy, like, he's 46. And I don't believe it's because he can't find a wife. I think it's because he's let his religion take control of the process of finding a wife. Because he's like, well, she has to be Catholic. She has to be a virgin. She has to be that. And he's just limiting himself. There's no reason why this man would still be single, okay? He would have found a woman if he wasn't so freaking picky, and he's letting his religion dictate who she has to be.
Yeah. And then he finds somebody that's so freaking far out of his league, it's not even funny. So it's going to be a shit show from the get-go.
Oh, and
yeah, and also I know a lot of Catholics, and they don't act like that.
Yeah.
And they're like really into Catholic Church. They've got divorced, they've remarried. I don't know. Everybody's got their own religion. Everybody's got their own religion. They have their own beliefs. But I'm just saying, all the Catholics that I know, and I know a lot of Catholics, they don't live like that.
So what do you think about him not telling his mom what's going on? Because his friend was like, your mom isn't going to be happy that she's not a virgin. So I guess in their version of the religion, you should marry only a woman who's a virgin. I think that's crazy and ridiculous. It would never fly in America. First of all, you never get married. But what do you think of the idea that he is not telling his mom as though it's not that serious? Because I feel like if it's very serious, you would have to tell her, because Misha's not going to go anywhere. If this is a real relationship, it's serious, this is going to end in marriage, your mom would need to be aware, and I feel like she would respect you a little more if she was aware beforehand, right?
But the mom can't hear anyway. He doesn't want to sit and try and explain it to her over and over and over. I mean, not trying to.
One good yell.
There was some back and forth trying to cook something in the kitchen, so.
This story, hey Jamie, this story was just a lot for me.
Yeah.
I felt like there's so many moving parts to this. And I think Misha's friend said it best. She was like, other than them both being Catholic, what do they have in common? What do they have to build a relationship on? Because they both are into the church and religion and literally recite Bible verses and pray, but that's not enough. Okay, like God, and then they're like, oh, I trust God. I trust that this is going to work out. God is not in the business of matchmaking, as far as I know. Yeah. I mean, I was never taught that he's up there matching people with their right people. That's kind of your responsibility. You have to find the right person for you. He has a lot of things going on. So many prayers going up at one time. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have time to like match people with the right person. I think you have to put that effort in yourself, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to end badly, no matter how. I mean, even her daughter said it. Let's say it all did work out. You're just going to bring this strange man in here that we've never met. And I mean, they're 17 and 19, so, they can GTFO. But, like, come on. You can't bring a strange man into your kids and just be like, here's daddy. You can't do that.
Yeah, the daughters.
And also what she does, she quit her job to do the Catholic full time, and she says that she helps people what's the word I'm looking for? Like when they're dying, like
transitioning
into
sorry guys, my English today is not good again, so
well, you made me.
Well, what was interesting to me was
what I'm trying to say.
Why did she have to quit her job in in the media to focus on her religion? Can you not like have a religion and then work at the same time? Like that was interesting to me because she said I have to focus fully on my religion.
She was a very famous journalist. She had a great career, and to just give that up, that seems crazy. Also, she was living the lavish lifestyle, the fast lifestyle, and she seemed like, I mean, by the pictures, it looked like she was having a great time. So I'm not sure why you'd just be like, yeah, okay, I'm done having fun.
Right. She was going on helicopter dates. Like men were renting helicopters and taking her on dates. Like the fact that she stopped all that and for 7 years hasn't been with anyone because she said it's been super lonely. And she's been talking to Nicola for 7 years, which I think is insanity. And they just recently admitted within the last 2 years that they like each other because they've been so focused on the Bible and religion they wouldn't even admit that they had grown feelings for each other. So they waited this long and now they're going to go and meet each other after all this time, and I don't see any common interest other than religion. So I feel like it's going to blow up in their face. Like, they mean well. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom is a super religious person. I refer to her as like a Jesus freak. Like, she's a super religious person. Yeah. She means well, but she says the meanest things to people when it comes to religion. She judges people, and she's so, I'm like, you mean well, but it's not a good way to attract people to love you. It's not a good way to attract people to love you by judging them on every single thing that they do and making them feel bad for not doing exactly what you would do in that situation. Because I tell my mom, I'm like, stop making it what would you do. Sometimes people can make their own decisions and they can do what they want. And I feel like the way that he reacted to her when it sounded like she wasn't sure about the annulment showed me that he's one of those people where you have to do what he wants you to do in the eyes of his religion or it's not going to work. And I feel like those relationships, we saw that with Nicole and Mahmoud. Those relationships are rocky from the start. Because if you can't make that person happy, and it's not really making the person happy, it's appeasing their religion. And you have to sometimes understand that religions are unappeasable. You cannot follow every single rule. It's not humanly possible. Even when you go to church, the pastor will tell you, you can't follow every single rule. Even the pastor, the reverend, the preacher, they're not following every single rule. It's literally an impossible book of rules, but you can try, to stick as close to it as possible. But trying to do that in a religion and a relationship coinciding, it's going to blow up in your face.
Yeah. It's going to be a disaster.
Well,
yeah.
I'm here for the...
Especially with him being 46, jobless, living with his mom, wants to fish all day, only wants to be on the internet, talking about his religion. It's going to be a disaster.
Yeah. I loved watching the scenes, and because every scene was worse than the other. I was like, it just keeps getting worse. It's just keep getting worse. And I was like, I just don't see what these two are going to do together other than go to church.
Yeah.
They're like, other than that one day a week at church, what are they going to do? Because she doesn't look like she's going to go on the boat and go fishing with him. So like, what are they going to do together to build this relationship? And he seems so close-minded. He's definitely a Mahmoud when it comes to religion. He's very close-minded. He's not looking to change the way that he sees things. He's not trying to broaden his horizon. He's always going to be, this is how it should be. You can tell just by the way he talks. So I'm going to be here to watch it blow up because I know that's where it's going. It's going to explode. And I wonder if we were meeting her later in the season because there isn't a lot of footage. Because maybe shit got over there.
I realize we're only on episode 3, but they hyped this up so much, in the previews. I was so excited to see her. And then now it's just like, whatever. And so now I'm, concerned about the next one coming on. That one I'm actually pretty excited about. But with them coming in on episode 4, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna...
A new guy. I'm really excited too. This season is really pulling all the stops.
Yeah.
Because we got Tyree, we got our catfish. And okay, so let's talk about Tyree a little bit because he is still convinced there is a woman behind the other side of this Snapchat, right? He is still convinced. He's like, I'm not convinced that this is a guy. Maybe because he was like, the scenario could be that this was her boyfriend and he found out that she was talking. But I was like, well, how does that make it better? That means that she's been dating someone the whole time she's been talking to you. How does that make it better? It's an explanation, but it makes it, I feel like that's even worse. If she is a woman and she's with somebody and she's been with somebody the whole time, that makes it even worse. That means that she had no intentions of being with you other than taking money from you. So I was like, even his scenarios in the denial of the situation are making it worse. And his sister is like, everybody can see the red flags. Like he read this message. It was like an email from the person, Christian. And we saw in the email like 6 red flags, right? Because even Tyree's sister saw it. She's like, when I read that message, I saw that this is a typical scam situation. It's a catfish. But in Tyree's interpretation, he was like, well, it does say that she loves me. And it does say, and I was like, you're picking like straws here. Like it said, I needed the money. It's a poor country. I did what I had to do. Oh, but I did like him a little. He took that one positive thing and tried to spin the whole email around. And even his sister was like, everybody can see what's going on here but him, right?
I love
he used the love word. He said he loves him, but he can't be with him. I think that is what got Tyree, because Tyree said, "Oh, he said the L word." Yeah. I mean, once you say the L word, I mean, he was hooked all over again.
I love Tyree, and all I can say is I even know it's obviously a catfish situation, but I don't care if it's a male or a female on the other side when he gets over there. I hope that this person actually really loves him and they make it work, because man, I am rooting for that guy. Wouldn't that be the best fairy tale if it was like, because that's kind
even if it's a guy, do you think that Tyree was still trying to work it out with the person?
If Tyree has this deep of a connection with this person, like he keeps saying, he's like, it's a connection like no other. I think it doesn't really matter if it's male or female, to be honest. He's loving that love. He's loving that feeling. And I don't think he cares what the person looks like or anything. He just wants that. Look at Jenny and Submit. So that started out as a scammer situation.
Yeah.
Submit was
Michael Jones. Michael Jones.
Yep. So and it turned into a love story, 10, 12 years later.
That's true.
So I'm hoping for Tyree that this person, whether it be male or female or whoever it is, I hope that it turns into a Jenny and Submit type fairy tale. Because I love Tyree.
I mean, I like him a lot. I want him to be more logical. But I mean, talking to somebody for 4 years and building a connection, and since there was no video call, there was no voice, there was no pictures that, real pictures at least, he did build love on the idea of a person. It wasn't really gender-based.
Yeah.
He never heard a voice. There was never a video call. And now he's finding out the pictures he saw wasn't the real picture. So the connection, like you're saying, is built with a person. Doesn't really matter what the gender is. So I think he wants the person to reach back out so they can have a conversation and he can tell them, I think we have a connection as two human beings.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to pursue that connection, regardless of who you are, regardless of what the situation started out as? Because Tyree's like, well, look, you said that you were using me for money, but in the end, you did end up loving me or liking me or whatever. Yeah. So that means that we could try to pursue that. But I don't know, like in my mind, if somebody did that to me, I don't want to pursue a relationship with them, right? Do you feel the same way?
I don't think any of us would. I don't think 99% of the people in the world would. But if you're, like he said in the beginning, he's got self-confidence issues. He doesn't put himself out there. He doesn't really have a social life. He's so busy taking care of his mom. He's the only one of the siblings that are not married or have kids or, he's longing for that. So I just hope whatever it is genuine. I really do, because if it's not, I'm about to go wherever Christian is and hunt him down myself.
I feel like the ghosting, because Tyree is trying to reach out to Christian. I keep wanting to say Carmela. He's been trying to reach out to Christian and no response. But Christian is responding to messages from the producers, which I find really peculiar. Why would you reach back out to the producers but not Tyree? Like, do you find that really weird? Like, why would you end communication with the person you've been talking to for years and then start talking to the producers of the show? Do you think the person on the other end wants to be on the show? Usually for Catfish, it's really difficult to get the person to come on the camera, because the last thing they want to do is reveal who they are, because Catfish are very, very they're secretive. They don't want anyone to know who they are. So do you think this person actually does want to pop up on screen?
I do.
Yes, because they said that they're very poor. Where they're from is a very poor country. So maybe they're thinking if they can get on the show, that's going to be, they looking at all them dollars, them dollar signs.
Absolutely. And that's a lot. I mean, the foreigners get just as much money as the Americans per episode. So it's like a shitload of money over there in any of these third world countries. That's a lot of money. Even if they only did 2 episodes and made $5,000, that's like years worth of work over there. That's a lot.
That's true.
So
that is very true. So even making like an episode appearance, like you said, it's like what, $1,500 for one episode. You do 2, that's like $3,000. And if they make a pop-up appearance on the screen at the tell-all, that's another $1,500 right there. Like, that is a lot of money.
The tell-all is like $3,000. So
it's even more. Okay. Yeah. And that's an even shorter appearance, because they only need you on Zoom for like what, 8-10 minutes, and they're only going to use half of that. So that's easy cash. And I want Tyree to be happy, and I think Tyree's sister said it too. She's like, I want him to be happy, but I also don't want anyone to take advantage of him any more than they have. And it's like, if he does still put his trust in this person, who's to say that they are fully into this, or they're just like, well, he knows that it's a scam now, but I can continue. Like, that's what I'm worried about, because he's in love with whoever it is. This persona that he has gotten to know, this is who he wants to be with. And what worries me is this persona might not even be real. This person might have created this personality, this persona, just to get on his heartstrings. This person might not really exist in real life. He's counting on the person that he was talking to being an actual person, that's how they act, that's how they talk, that's how they feel. I don't know if that's true. I think that they were playing him to get the right amount of money every month. That's just how the scam works. And unfortunately, genuine people with big hearts, they're a huge target for scammers because it's so easy to gain their trust, especially Tyree. He was looking to be loved. He was looking to have that relationship. He's always wanted that, and he's a giver. He takes care of his family. He takes care of his mom. He's always doing things for other people. So the idea that somebody wanted to love him and be there for him and do that for him, it was very easy for them to put that target right there on his forehead, and he fell for it. And I'm just worried that this person is even more sneaky. They have more tricks up their sleeve, because the fact that they're talking to producers makes me wonder, they don't believe this is over. They feel like it can go farther.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, totally agree.
All right, so let's talk about cutting potatoes or peeling potatoes with a butcher knife, because we saw a scene tonight where Jasmine was cooking some vegan meatballs, and she wanted Gino to help her cut up some stuff for the meal, and she didn't have everything. Okay, so a $3,000 furnished apartment, but it doesn't have everything you need. So that was my first annoyance, because I was like, first of all, $3,000 in Panama, that's a lot more money, right? Like, that's probably like...
It's missing a potato peeler. Big freaking deal. And second of all, it has granite countertops. That's your cutting board.
Wait, I thought you weren't supposed to cut on those. Am I wrong? I was told you're not supposed to because it scratches it.
You can absolutely cut on it, especially if it's treated. So that's your cutting board right there. Stop.
So
cut.
People feel that Gino has grown a pair. Do you feel like that? Because the way that he was acting tonight is 150,000% different than what we saw in the past season. Like, he was saying, I can't be pushed around. I can't be controlled. I'm not a pushover. And I was like, show me where you're not a pushover. You're paying $3,000 a month for an apartment you don't live in. Like, show me exactly where you're not a pushover, and I'll believe you. Just like he said that I've changed my wardrobe when I dress differently, and I was like, show me where.
Yeah.
Because you look exactly the same, minus the Jesus sandals. You look exactly the same. Show me your closet so I can understand where you come from, because that's not what I see. So he's grown a pair at some point, but what I don't understand is, why is he treating Jasmine the way that he's treating her? Like, I feel like he's treating her so bad now. And I'm trying to understand why, because she is only acting this way because he let it go on for so long. He let her control her.
He grew a pair of baby balls. He was acting like a child. I was literally having a tantrum.
But what was the tantrum about? That's what I didn't understand.
Not having the right equipment, I guess. That's all I caught. But cooking.
I couldn't figure that out either. I couldn't figure that out either.
No, he acted like a complete child. A child that's throwing a fit because you didn't cut the crust off their bread. Like, that's what I saw for Gino. He's just like, I'm just going to bed. Even though you put all that work into peeling that single potato, you're not even going to eat it.
Well, I didn't understand why he was so defensive. She's cooking him dinner.
Yeah.
She clearly doesn't eat that much. She looks like she doesn't eat much. Okay, so she's cooking him dinner, and she's going through all this trouble for him. She literally, when he got there, begged him to touch her, and he just rolled over like she wasn't there. Like, this whole situation, I was like, I can't imagine what universe this is where Jasmine, a beautiful Latino woman, is being treated this way. Like, I don't know what universe that we live in where this is a real thing, and Gino is the one on the other end who's treating her like she's not good enough, not worth his time. He wouldn't even look at her. And I'm just like, where are we? What planet is this where this is even happening?
Yeah, it's absurd. I'm blown away by the whole thing. I don't care how much money she's spending. She is not a turnoff. There's something else going on with Gino that he's having a very hard time admitting. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I
think his family is starting to get into his ear now, because they keep pressuring him to do the prenup. And he also said that he's upset because now she wants to spend all this money that in the beginning she wasn't like that. Yeah. Now he's wanting to live this high luxury life, and he doesn't understand where it's coming from.
But one thing they can't say on there is, again, they get paid to be on here. So anything she's done, she's just because she's not out physically working, she's still making money.
Yeah.
So whatever she, whether it be all of her procedures, whatever it is that she did, he still, if he's really paying for that apartment, that's on him. Use your balls. Say no, I'm not paying for that.
He could have. She was staying. Yeah, she was staying in an apartment, and the lease was up. He could have said, renew this lease, and I'll pay it. Or he could have, like you said, he could have grew up there and said, I'm not paying your rent at all anymore. He could have easily said.
I think it's all a head game, because she said in her mind, she's thinking, I'm going to get this super expensive apartment just to see if this visa is really almost done. Because if it's really almost done, he's going to pay for it. If it's not, then there's no way he's going to pay for it. And just like she said tonight, well, I won't be staying here long because the visa's almost done, right? And he paused for a very long time. And he's like, yeah. So I think that...
So you think he's never filled out the paperwork?
No.
Is this like a Danielle and Johan type situation where Danielle's like, oh yeah, I got everything under control. You're going to be in New York no time. No paperwork was ever filled out. Do you think that Gino really did that?
I do.
I think so too.
Do you think it's because he's afraid that he can't afford her when she gets here?
I think he's afraid of not being able to keep her when she gets here. I think he can afford her fine, but I don't think he'll be able.
When she gets here, she might find somebody that suits her better. That's what the situation. I mean, that's very possible. You know, in America, I go to the gym every now and then, not every week. Don't get happy. And there's guys that go every day and they take care of themselves and they drive really nice cars. And I get it. It's very hard to feel secure when you have a woman like Jasmine, right? Like it's very hard to feel secure in yourself when you feel like she's out of your league, because literally everyone, even his family, has told him this woman is out of his league. So feeling secure in yourself is almost out of the question. If I had a woman like Jasmine, I wouldn't feel secure. You know, I feel like the next guy could come up and take her. You know, women like that do not settle.
Especially if you're not taking care of her needs. You know?
Right.
I wouldn't want to, period. I'd be
I can't imagine why he thinks Jasmine would stay with him if she's feeling unneeded, unloved, untouched, undesired. Yeah. Like she might have a lot of demands, but I guarantee you that demand is something that she's going to need to be met or she's not going to stick around. And even if she's just using him to get over here and then she'll find another person, you know, maybe that's his fear. She still needs those demands met. He's not the only person that can get a green card in her name, you know, like he's not the only guy. So the fact that he treats her like she's worthless, like I feel like he does. He really treats her like she's worthless. Like he's doing her a favor and she should be grateful that he's doing that favor. And I'm just like, I don't know, regardless of looks, appearance, or anything, you don't treat any woman that way. You're not doing her a favor. If you love her, you love her. And you're going to do what you want to do for her because you love her, not because you're doing her a favor, not because she couldn't get to America any other way. I hate the fact that he's making it seem like, well, you should just be happy that I'm doing this for you. I really hate that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Even them kissing is horrifying. That's the best word I can find. Like,
it's terrible.
Horrifying. You talk traumatizing. It's traumatizing, okay? I'm trying to be nice on Gino and Jasmine tonight, okay? I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
So, Donna, there was a post, I saw it. That is true. I'm not going to say it out loud, but you guys can read it. That is true. Yeah. So whatever took place, I'm not going to say it out loud, just read it, everybody. But that is true. That was an actual thing that I saw.
Yeah. Yep. It's happening.
Yeah, I don't know how or why, but that's what happened. Okay, so let's talk about Riley, right? So Riley is going to Vietnam to meet Violet. We got to meet Violet, by the way, who I thought, wait, I don't want to say anything. I want to get your first impressions. I forgot I have to get y'all's first impressions first. So we met Violet. We met her friends. When we saw her out on her moped, I called it a motorbike, and Kara corrected me. It is not a Harley. It's a moped. So what do you guys think of Violet?
It's not gonna happen. Riley's out. Get out the door now.
Really?
Shit. She didn't tell her friends. And she's using this guy completely. 100%. She's a catfish that showed her face. That's all there is.
Wow.
Yep, I agree as well.
Really? Is it because of the comment she made where he said, "What are we doing tomorrow?" And she's like, "I'm busy"?
Yeah. Well, that's not the only reason, but that's a big one. You're just going to have to deal with it. I'm busy. I'm sorry that you flew 8,000 miles to see me, but I'm busy.
Exactly. Yeah. That and some other stuff, you know, her sending his dad all those messages, trying to put his dad against him, and then trying to make his dad feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just way too many red flags in this relationship.
Yep.
Way too many. And we already know that she's still active on the dating site. So
yep.
Why is she still active if she's really truly in this relationship for because she wants to be in it, because she actually wants to have a relationship with him? Why is she still on the dating site? Yep. Why she keeps steadily trying to turn his dad against him?
Yep.
Why she?
It's not gonna.
This
one's over.
I kind of feel the same way. Like, I feel like when she didn't tell her friends, because I feel like it's easier to tell your friends than to tell your family. So the fact that she told her family, I was like, well, her family is going to be excited because he's an American, and they're going to be excited about the opportunity. So she told her family, but she didn't tell her friends. I feel like when it comes to women, they tell their friends things first because friends can be a little less judgmental and harsh than family. So when her friends had no idea, I was like, really? That's crazy to me, because girls talk, you know, they talk about these things with each other. And she said that she likes to get her way. And even her friends were like, you don't seem like the type, you know, that would let him win a fight, you know. And then when she said they fought all the time, and then, yeah, there's just a lot of red flags. And I don't even think he should have even gotten on the plane, because he is fully aware of all the issues. Like, the idea of thinking about, oh, I could hire a private eye if she won't just tell me the truth. She should just tell you the truth.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, all she should do is tell you what's going on. And I feel like if she's not willing to tell you what's going on, there's no reason to fly 2 days.
Also, he made the comment last week that he's trying to make sure she's divorced and all of that stuff, which made it sound like she was for a minute, right? Today we find out she was married for 15 years. So it's not like it's just a minute. It wasn't just, whoops, we accidentally got married. I mean, they have 2 freaking kids. They were married for 15 years. She's probably not divorced. I bet you that comes out.
So you think she's with this guy, and then she's been using Riley for money. And then when Riley wasn't sending the money fast enough, she tried to get in his dad's ear to cause problems so he could send more. See, that's an interesting theory, because I was wondering that as well. Because when she gave the explanation of the husband, she just said, he wasn't taking care of me financially and my kids financially, so I left him. That's a weird thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, usually he was mean, he was abusive, he was hurtful, he was emotionally abusive, he cheated. It's really weird to say, like, well, he wasn't giving me enough money, so I left him. That's usually not something you hear someone say as to why they ended their 15-year marriage. Yeah. That was an interesting thing to say to me.
Yeah. If I was married 15 years and my husband wasn't providing the way I thought he should, I'd kick his ass out the door, drive him to his job, and drop him off. And then I'd pick him up and bring him home with his paycheck. I wouldn't just be like, okay, we're done.
No, you go get the paycheck on payday. Don't even let him touch it. You go get the paycheck.
Yes. But I wouldn't just be like, well, just because you didn't bring in enough money, I want a divorce after 15 years and 2 kids.
Right.
Something.
No one does that. There's times where people get laid off. There's times where the husband is provided the whole time, and then something happens, he gets injured. People don't just say, oh, well, you're not making money anymore, I'm leaving you. That's never really the underlining reason. There's always other things. So when she listed that as the main reason, kind of raised the flag for me. I was like, huh. So it's all about financial stability for her.
Yep.
It's not really about love. So I was like, that's an interesting turn of events. So I don't know. It kind of raised a flag for me. And I'm thinking Riley is probably right to want to investigate. She's not being upfront and truthful about the information because she's hiding something. And I think that's why the PI is probably going to give him information that he doesn't want to get. You know, he's going to have to hire someone because she's just not going to be forthcoming. If she had all this time to be forthcoming with her relationship status and its information, and she hasn't, she's not going to tell you in person. It would have been easier to tell you over the phone, over the FaceTime. It's going to be even harder to say, oh, by the way, I've been lying this whole time in person. You know, that's going to be even harder.
Especially when he finds out that he's not the only one that's sending her money. But also, did you notice in the beginning, he said he's only sent her, what was it, like $3,000 or something? Maybe it wasn't even that much. He only sent her a little bit. But then he said it's her birthday, so I got her pearls. Shows the pearls. But then he's literally packing his suitcase with purses and all this other stuff. Yeah.
I caught it. I knew you were going to catch it too. Because he was like, I got to fit all this stuff in. And I was like, there's like 4 purses right there. And there's like a necklace. And there's like a jewelry box. I was like, who is all this stuff for?
Yeah.
Like, you said that you got her one thing. You bought her all this stuff. And I bet you he had a whole suitcase just of presents and gifts. I guarantee you he did. He is not being honest about how much money he sent her. I know $3,000 is not the full amount. That's how much they're. I always said when we watch 90 Day Fiance, when they give you a number, you multiply it times 2.
Absolutely.
So whatever number they give you, it's at least 2 times that amount that they sent. They just don't want you to know, because in case it doesn't work out, they don't want to have any explaining to do to anybody. So they just want to minimize the amount of their mistake. They're like, well, I only sent this much. It's probably sometimes times 3. But times 2 is probably where we're going with that. He sent a lot of money because based on how many gifts he needed to bring her to appease her, we know how much money has been sent.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably taking gifts to her whole family as well. So, and we all know that she's, you know, by her being on the dating app still, they ain't no telling how many men she has sending her money.
Right.
Several.
It's a roster. That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's a roster. It's like a starting 5, right? Like, it's going to be a whole roster of guys, because not very many people are going to make that 2-day flight. So you can keep a relationship online going. You can have money sent to you. This could go on for up to a year or 2 before the guy catches on and realizes that you're not actually trying to marry him. That's a decent amount of money that you can pull in from each person before they realize what's going on. And then like Riley has basically figured out, and he's still getting on the plane. So you can still keep it going.
Even though his buddy Alexa was like, I think this is a horrible idea.
Oh yeah, she was like, this is ridiculous. It's manipulative. It's disgusting. She's texting your father. Because I was like, why would you text someone's dad to try to turn their family against them? That is the most vile thing I have ever heard in my life.
Happening with that, I think she was texting the dad in hopes of saying, oh, he's such, you know, Riley's such a bad person, yada yada yada. He's not sending me the money he promised, in hopes that the dad will send her money on Riley's behalf so that she's got more. Because I feel like she's got feelers, octopus legs out there everywhere, trying to snatch up every bit she can from anybody that'll send it. I think.
Interesting. Because, yeah, I mean, why else would she have his dad's number and then tell him about their problems? Because I've always told people, never ever tell people your relationship problems in case you work it out. Because then they're going to know how dysfunctional your relationship is. So when you get invited to people's house, they're going to be whispering under their breath about how terrible your relationship was 2 weeks ago. Exactly. So don't tell everyone your problems. So that's exactly what she was doing. Like you said, maybe she was saying, oh, he isn't taking care of me and my daughters and we're struggling. And she was fishing for extra money. Even though he probably was, she's telling his dad he's not, because that's double the money. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what.
I'm surprised that his. I know it hasn't come out yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if his dad was sending her money.
I hope not.
It'll come out.
But the
it hasn't come out yet. But I wouldn't put it. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her.
The fact that he was talking to her and getting the messages. I don't want to say talking to her, but got like 150 messages and didn't bother to tell his son. I wouldn't put it past him, because I feel like that's something after the second text message. After the second text message, he should have said, hey, Riley, this woman is texting me. And showed him. Like, that is what a family does. Like, your family is supposed to always be like this. So if there's somebody doing something outside this family circle, you're supposed to work as a unit, as a team, and conquer what that is. And I feel like the dad not doing that is a huge red flag. So it makes you, like you said, if the dad was sending money, he's not going to say it because he didn't even tell Riley that they were in communication.
Yep.
So
Riley,
what do we think about Amanda and Razvan? Because we got some scenes with them, and she's having a really hard time. And apparently, she called home, and her son said Dada died, and it really hit her hard. And it was just like a random thing, and she was confused by the statement. But I think that statement is a normal grieving thing. Like, you wake up one day and then it hits you all over again, like that this happened. And I think when you're grieving the loss of someone, every day when you wake up, for a hot second, you forgot that this horrible tragedy happened, and then you have to relive it every day. And I think that her child is grieving very healthy, in a very healthy way, because having to say it out loud and help process it through your mind so you understand it is a good thing. And I think her thinking that it was a red flag, or it was a hard thing for her child to say, I think it's the opposite. I think what she's doing is the red flag. She, instead of processing what happened with her husband, she's in Romania in bed with this guy sucking on his neck. Like, I feel like she's not grieving in the correct way. Her children are. The children are waking up every day. They're coming to terms with it. They're saying it out loud. They're going through the steps of grief. And I think that the children are handling it the best way any child could. But you have to sometimes say it out loud and help yourself process it. And I think the statement that the child made was a good way, you know, to say it out loud and show that they are understanding and accepting the process, that this is what happened. And I feel like she should take notes from the kids. You know, the kids are really doing the best that they can to process. And I think it's hitting her hard now, walking the streets to Romania, that she hasn't processed any of this. Like, she is there with this man and she feels really weird. She feels guilty. She feels like she's betraying her husband, but it's because she hasn't processed the loss yet. Like, I know that she thinks that she's over it. She thinks that she's ready to be in a relationship, but she's not. Even her sister, she was like, this is way too fast. The last thing you need to be doing is getting on an airplane. You shouldn't even be in communication with anybody that you think you have feelings with. You have to process this just you, Amanda only. Right? Like, just Amanda. Nobody else needs to be in this process but you and maybe the kids, and y'all should work on this together and take as long as it needs to take until you feel like you are ready to move in that direction. Because she got on that plane, and when she saw him in person, she was like, I am not ready to be in a relationship with somebody else. She's still, in her mind, she's still married to Jason. She's literally still married, and she's out dating this other guy. And it's only because she's denied herself time to process her loss.
I have a couple of things that I want to say about this. So when this first started, I was like, Razvan is a piece of trash. He's only in it for fame, blah, blah, blah. And poor Amanda. Now I am literally just the opposite. I am now a fan of Razvan. I think that he has been nothing but respectful. He's respected her boundaries. I'm so dumbfounded by how many times they're saying, I love you to each other. You're not in love. I'm sorry. You're not in love. If you haven't processed the death of your husband yet, you're not in love. And so I feel like she strung him along.
Yep.
Now she strung him along. So now he's trying to figure out all this stuff. Okay, well, I'll come to America. He's not saying, I need you to get me a K1. He's not saying, I need you to get me there. He's not saying any of that. He's like, I'll get a tourist visa and come and visit you and the kids. Mm-hmm. She automatically jumps to, you can't stay in my house with the kids and all this stuff. He didn't say that was the case. He was going to get his own visa. He was going to go visit. I feel like she was ready for this, and then got there and was like, holy shit, I need to back it up. But now, I mean, just by making the comment, would you be sad if I left early? Yeah, hell yeah, I'd be sad, you know, because you strung me along this far. So I feel like she's just stringing him along, dangling that carrot. And I don't know. I have completely different feelings between the two of them now.
See,
but I get.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we're only on episode 3, so.
Yeah. I didn't like how she's allowed to go to Romania and see him, but he's not allowed to go to America and see her. I didn't like that. I feel like relationships and things like that should be equal. And I was like, you're making him like a dirty little secret.
Yep.
Like, you can go and do this as long as nobody knows you're doing it or your kids can't see it. That's not fair, because he's actually trying to be in a relationship with her. And to her, this was kind of like, I'm going to try. It's a trial run.
Yeah.
Right. And he didn't feel that way. He felt that this trip they were going to be together and profess their love, and he was going to ask her to marry him. This was a complete trial run for her. She is not all in. She doesn't even have one toe in the door in this relationship. This was just, let's see how it goes. And if I don't like it, I'll get on the plane early. And like you said, Razvan was under the impression that they were in love. They, like you said, they say, I love you. After 4 months, they say, I love you. He was under the impression this relationship was legit. And this isn't even a relationship. When she got there, she was just like, this isn't, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I probably messed up. I'm going to try to book another flight home. Like, that's how she felt.
I agree.
Her conscience is killing her. Her conscience is killing her. I mean, come on now. Can we talk about the elephant in the room? Because I have been sitting on this ever since I seen it the other day. They started talking within, what, a week or two?
Yeah.
Or not talking, but in a relationship within a week or two after her husband passed away.
Yep.
Come on now. Seriously? So, I mean, there's proof. There is proof. It's all over it. I mean, everybody sees it. It's on her phone. August of last year. Her husband passed away mid-March. Okay, she said they had been in a relationship for 4 months. That puts them back in, what, April. Okay, her husband had just passed away. So were they talking whenever her husband was still alive? I mean, was she already just, preparing for the next man to come in her life? Her conscience is getting her. Her conscience is getting her. And I told you guys, there is something about her I did not like.
Yep.
And now I know why.
Yep. I know. That's
I was
her about that exactly. When we were messaging the other day about those screenshots, it's like, hold on, something's not mathing here. Like, the math is not mathing. I feel like she was talking to him before her husband passed. While her husband...
I do too. Because, okay, if they started filming, then they had to have been talking while her husband was still alive. Yep. They had to have.
4
They
months.
had to.
4 months.
Talking like friends. You think they were talking like friends, or you think they were talking like flirting?
Well, I don't know. They're in love now.
I don't know that part yet, but I'm sure enough digging. I'll find out.
Well,
because that is just disrespectful.
I did see the screenshots you sent me, and it said August. And that was very peculiar, because I said that's really early, because like you said, what was it, March, April? When
he passed away, and then that would have put them starting dating around the beginning of April if they wasn't already dating before.
Yeah. And he died in March, so that doesn't make any.
Right, it doesn't make sense unless, I don't know. I mean, some of these seasons are filmed a year out, but
her phone dated, what was it, August 9th?
Yes, and she said that her husband, it was in the same year that her husband passed away.
Yeah, you're right.
And it says right there on the screenshot.
Yeah.
Well, I tried, Amanda, but I can't make it work. The numbers don't work in your favor. I tried. I was like, let's try some, but that would be very interesting if they were talking before. I know she said that they met on TikTok, so it's possible that the interaction started while he was still alive. I'm hoping that it was just friendly, because that would be an even more sinister type situation if she was already courting a new guy while he was, suffering. Her husband was going through a lot. That would be really hard to process, like deal with. Like, I don't even want to think about that. I hope to God that's not what took place. But a couple of weeks after the passing, to be in a new relationship, this is why she's going through such terrible guilt and confusion when she's seeing him, because that means that she didn't process anything.
Yeah. Literally,
it happened, and then she was in a new relationship. So how does that even work? How do you go through losing someone when it's almost like a breakup? like she just broke up with her husband and started dating someone else, but that's not what happened. You have to process it for what it is. You know, loss is loss. It's not a breakup. And even a breakup, you need more than a week or two to get over the breakup. Like, let's be realistic here. If you break up with somebody on a Friday, you can't be in a new relationship by next Friday.
Yep.
You got to have time to get through that. And it works the same way. So I don't know. I'm very surprised at the timeline because I don't even know how to explain it. Like,
The math is not mathing.
Yep.
So, and did you also catch that she said that she doesn't want her kids to be involved and know him or whatever, but didn't that start when he started FaceTiming them? They know his name, they know who he is, they talk to him regularly, but she said tonight, she's like, I don't want the kids to, you know, get attached or get involved or meet him or know him. And I was like, that ship has sailed. You know, they are asking where he's sleeping and they know who he is. They know that he's your friend. Like, that ship has sailed. Just because they haven't physically met him does not mean that he's not in their life. He's in their life. Like, you can have, like, this happens a lot with, like, grandparents. Like, sometimes your kid's grandparents will live out of state, so you only see them once or twice a year. That grandparent is 100% in that child's life. They know exactly who that person is. If something was to happen to that grandparent, it would emotionally hurt that child. So don't think just because they haven't met him that he's not a part of this. He is so roped into this situation you would never even believe.
Yep. And if he's telling her he loves her all the time, first of all, the kids are hearing it, but I'm sure that he's saying it to the kids too. I mean, I'm sure part of their conversations were private, but there's no way that the kids don't hear them flirting or having, you know, flirty banter or saying I love you to each other. And if he's talking to these kids because he wants to be their friend, then, you know, it's not right. All of it's not right.
No.
Turned down to accepting his house key. Like, you're not even staying there. Take that freaking key with you, girl. That's stupid. I would have.
She says she's probably not even going back. That's why she don't want it.
Yeah, but I'd have took it. I'd have been like, cool, thank you. That's nice. That was nice of you to give to me. Thank you for not proposing like I thought you were going to.
Well, hats off to the cameraman that got that got her phone screen because it was already not mathing up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even before that came out, we already knew something was not right.
Right.
Something wasn't right enough, and now we know some of it, but I'm pretty sure there's more.
Yeah, but they were having this conversation. Did you notice it was like super midday? They're having this conversation. It's bright and like lunchtime, and then in the flip of the screen, it's the same conversation, but now it's like 11 o'clock at night. It's pitch black. Yeah. What the hell happened there?
I didn't catch it. I was tweeting. Missed it.
I noticed that too. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Interesting. So what were they doing all day?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it was the same conversation. It would have been one thing if the conversation would have changed, but it was the same conversation. So it's like, okay, you guys eat. We'll pick up exactly where we left off in 4 hours.
Yeah,
they come back on. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, you coming to America and that not working out for me.
Oh, I wanted to ask this question. So they said that they didn't sleep together that night, and I know you guys said last week you didn't believe that. Do you still feel the same way? Because he had a pretty noticeable hickey on his neck. So do you guys feel like they're lying for the camera?
Yep. 100%.
Okay. Because I was thinking that too. Because I was like,
Nina. I was like, oh my gosh, you put a hickey on this man's neck. And then they're going to say they were not intimate. Right. Come on now. Seriously? Please.
The amount of time it takes to put a hickey that size on someone's neck, I was just like, so you mean to tell me that y'all were just laying in the bed and you're sucking on his neck and nothing happened for the rest? Like, I don't know if I believe that. I know that might be what she wants us to believe because it would go along with the scene about her guilt and how she felt. I don't think that's what happened. I don't think that's what happened at all. And I feel like she might be trying to give us a little different story than what happened, maybe because she feels guilty about what happened on the first night with him. But we weren't born yesterday. You know, like we know she flew all the way there and we saw the way that they were lip locking when they met. We weren't born yesterday. And then when I saw the hickey on his neck, and I was like, but y'all didn't do nothing though. Like that's something a teenager would tell their parents. Like, come on now, that's not what happened.
That's also something a teenager would do. When's the last time either one of you gave someone a hickey? Come on.
I was a teenager. You're accurate, yes.
How she's talking to, she's talking like a little kid, and then she's like bossing him around. Like last week it was she didn't have enough room in the bathroom for her stuff, and tonight it was, you're not moving fast enough with my coffee. Well, get up and fix it yourself. I mean, come on, like, hello.
Yeah.
When that big old hickey, then I'm just sitting there like, and you saying y'all didn't do nothing? Come on now. We all know that's high school stuff there. That is, man. I'm trying to be nice, y'all. I'm trying to be nice this week.
You did not fly across the country to give someone a hickey and then go home. That's not how that works. That's not how any of.
Exactly how any of this works. And I don't know, if you're gonna fly that many miles in that many days, it's only normal to, I don't know, but Gino won't do it. Because I was like, it's only normal to sleep with the person, right? But I guess not. Gino won't do it. Gino has no interest in doing that. So I want to believe that he is genuinely interested in her, though. I believe that. I also believe that he's interested in the idea of making more money as an influencer in America, though. So I feel like it's two things. Like, he genuinely does like her, and he does think that the relationship is real. But he also likes the idea of coming to America because he actually got that tourist visa behind her back.
Yep.
So he's definitely working on a goal of getting to America. And the tourist visa doesn't help that goal because you can't make any money on that.
Right.
But it would give him an idea of, survey what he could be doing, get an idea, plan of what he could be doing once he gets here. So,
but here's the thing about that. This is how I see that. He's so far beyond applying for the tourist visa that he actually has an interview. So that takes longer than it took for them to meet and fall in love. So this is something he had in the works before he met her. And if he didn't truly care about her, he would have came here and met any American, because then he could go home, still have a conversation with them and be like, hey, I was just there. This is, and go from that point. So I think that he really likes her, and I think she's really led him on.
Yeah, you're right. He could have easily, America's so big, you could come here, spend weeks here, months here, and other Americans would never know you were here. You're 100% right. He could have came here, stayed here for 3 whole months, and just never told her where he was. But he was telling her his plan. So you're right. I think that he really does want to make it work with her. Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless I don't know, there's something about him too, just ain't adding up. Unless he is no, because he knows the situation that she's in. She's grieving, she wants to be with somebody. Unless he's got it in his mind that once he gets over here and he goes over and he meets the kids are going to get attached to him, and that right there will be a door opening to him being able to get his K-1 visa.
I don't know. I feel like I just feel like she has led him on completely, because he's been very respectful. In my opinion, he's been very respectful. He hasn't tried to insert himself in with the kids. Yes, he's talked to them, but I don't feel like he's inserting himself there. He's been respectful to not rush anything while she got there. I mean, I feel like he's a good looking dude. Not gonna lie, he's a good looking man. He could probably get just about any American chick that is, messaging him on TikTok. He's got a lot of followers. I'm sure that, he has a lot of DMs. He could probably get anybody, but I feel like they developed this connection, if you will, while her husband was still alive. And then when he died, he was there to comfort and console and, be that shoulder to cry on. And his feelings went from there. That's what I think. I don't think he's trying to get to America. I think if he wants to get to America, he will.
Something's not adding up with him. I don't know.
Well,
he
I think when we said when we met him and it said he was like an actor and an influencer, everybody was like, no, that's a red flag. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people feel like influencers and actors, they have one goal
Yeah.
to become famous and make a lot of money. And they were like, well, what is going to help him get to that goal faster? Getting to America. Because even he said in that one last week, he was like, I can be so much more successful in America versus Romania. So, but like you said, Amanda's not the only fish in the sea. You know, there's quite a few women who, because we saw what he does on his TikTok, there's women who are paying this man to take off his shirt. So there's quite a few women who I think would have no issue bringing him over here and moving them into their house. Like, I think that's not off the table. So if he didn't want to deal with Amanda and, you know, the situation that she's in and the kids and the grieving and, you know, getting the situation that she's going through under control, he could easily walk away. It hasn't even been that long. Like, he could easily walk away. I feel like there's an easier way in, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe he said it to her to see exactly. Maybe he's trying to figure out exactly where she is in the relationship and where her mindset is. Maybe he's trying to figure out if he needs to continue with her or call it quits. Maybe that's another reason why he brought it up. Because, he can have anybody he wants.
I don't know. I just feel like it takes so long to get a tourist visa. And if that was something that was in the works already, up to the point that he has an interview, I think it was happening long before he even met her. And I feel like even if he was just here, no, he can't work here, but he can make bajillions of TikToks here. And he's going to get more followers, and he's going to, you know, he can make so much money. The guy can make so much money, and all he needs is one trip to America. If he does that, he's good. All the American
so it could be like a Matthew and Anna from Pet Love in Paradise. Like, Anna, her goal is to get here, and getting here is going to increase her revenue, what she can do, who she can work for, how much money she makes because she's a fighter, who she can fight, the amount of money she could get per fight. All of that will change. So is Amanda just like a way to get here? Is that what you think it is, DeeDee? Do you think she's...
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that she is a way for him to get here. I do think that maybe he did apply for it before they got into a serious relationship, or maybe even before they even met. Yeah.
You think before they met? Okay.
Before they met. Is what I'm saying is, you gotta, maybe he's got in his mind, I could be wrong, but maybe he's got in his mind that, you know, he can get over here and meet the kids, get close to the kids, and then she will think twice of letting go of him. And then what will be the next step? The next step will be getting his visa for him to stay here.
But here's the thing about that. He could literally get just about any American chick he wants. It's just like if Jasmine came here. She can get just about any American guy she wants. So he could get any American chick that doesn't have baggage, that probably has a lot more money, that is probably a lot more secure, that will probably, I mean, that's why I feel like he really likes her, really loves her. There's something there because she's got a lot of baggage to unpack, and for a single guy who just wants to be an influencer.
That's true. The workload is high. Yeah, the workload is high.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't agree with you, Kara. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's something not right about him. There's something not right. Yeah. I was right about Amanda, so there's something. Something's not right.
We're only 3 episodes in, so I feel like we're going to get some more time to read into Razvan. And did you guys see the video I posted this week of him singing? I wanted to get an idea of how you guys felt about his singing. Did you guys see it? It was on my story.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
This was the week my son got married. I haven't been on social media at all. I've been so busy.
So he did a cover, and the video, it was very auto-tuned.
Yeah.
It wasn't like amazing. Like, I'm not gonna say like he's gonna get signed to any record label anytime soon. I'm gonna repost it so everybody can hear it, because I want to get everybody's opinion on that, because a lot of people were like, keep your day job. You know, a lot of people weren't impressed. So I'm gonna repost it and see if people catch it again on the second time. But yeah, he posted a cover. It's on his Instagram. If y'all don't follow him, follow him. He's been posting. Hey, Rishi. Yeah, if you guys don't follow him, he's been posting some music on his Instagram because everybody was asking on Twitter, let's hear you sing, because he kept saying I'm a singer and I'm filming a music video. So everybody was like, well, let's hear this voice. So he posted a cover that he did and it got some reviews, you know, so I want to hear what you guys think of that. So we'll talk about that next week. So we can critique, you know, we're going to be like the American Idol judges here. We're going to critique his performance. And we'll see if he can make it to Hollywood, right? We're going to see if we can put him through to Hollywood.
No way possible.
Okay. Last time we checked, he was at like 139,000 followers. So I have to see where he's at today. So he is currently at, he hasn't gained that many. He's got 140,000.2. So
yeah. Because he went from 127 to 139 in like a week, right? Yeah.
And it's happening.
It's slowing down, but it's still good. That's still a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah. So
I don't know.
Do we talk about everyone? I don't have my notes in front of me. Did we forget anybody?
New couple that's coming up. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah. I'm excited. I love the fact that we're still meeting new people because I'm already hooked in.
We didn't get any David this week. I was very sad.
Yeah, we didn't get David, so we have to wait and see what happens when he meets Sheila. I'm rooting for him. Sheila, please don't do anything that you'll regret, because we don't want to have any problems with you, Sheila. Please, thank you ahead of time in advance. We definitely don't want to have to come over there. You know, like, please keep it together.
But we will.
Right. I have my passport ready. Like, you know.
Part two, so we'll be jumping on the plane. We'll be going over there. I got my passport.
Yeah, we have to, David, we will come get you. You know, we will. Let us know. Say the word.
Yep.
First thing smoking. We'll come out there. So we're going to come back tomorrow, and we're going to talk about Love in Paradise. April and Valentine are back, and we know that he disappeared for 3 days, and she just saw him randomly walking down the street. So that's a conversation. So we're going to see what happens during that. I'm excited about that. Oh, and Scott has brought his new/old person, girl, lady, woman, I don't want to call her a girl, to the island to rekindle their relationship in the same trip that he was trying to get to know Lydia on. So that's going to blow over well, right? And we're also going to see if Nicole and Lydia are there to make a scene, because that's what they normally do. So make sure you're following me at George Mossey on all platforms, and go to georgemossey.com and any way you get your podcast. And make sure you're following my co-host, Kara and DeeDee. They are tagged in this video. And we will talk to all of you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.